Hi, welcome back to Helen Judeney's The Complaining Cow Consumer Show on East London Radio. And today I'm really pleased to have two guests today. And one of them I'm welcoming back, who is Janine McDonald, a sustainable declutterer and organiser, and Kerry Hales, who's a life coach and author. Now, there's a couple of reasons why that we've brought Janine back and bringing in Kerry, and that's to talk about bras and knickers. What else would we be here talking about? So, Janine, tell me all about your bras, your bra initiative. Tell me all about that.
Well, I started out on a mission for sustainable decluttering, and I try and repurpose, redistribute, upcycle, recycle as much as possible. And the subject bras came up, and I was Googling and I was thinking, right, what can we do with bras then? And you could make them into planters for the garden and things like that. But then I struck on, actually, they can be recycled. And not only recycled, they can raise money for research against breast cancer. So the charity against breast cancer collects the bras. The recycling company pays against breast cancer for the weight of the bras. And then they sort them all out. So if they're fit for re-wearing, they will be sent out to Africa, and the women in Africa will be supported to set up a business to sell the bras to other women in their communities. And by wearing a bra, it means that they are more likely to get a job that is reputable, and that they then can earn sufficient to give their children a nutritious food and meals.
All win-wins.
It is. And then any that can't be dismantled and all the separate bits are recycled accordingly. So it's absolutely incredible. And when people say, but you're a declutterer, and I go, yeah, and I've got 3,500 bras in my garage.
Now, how did you come to have 3,500 bras in your garage?
Because whenever I go to a client and we're going through, we're organising everything, they do generally say, oh, do you know anybody who could use bras? And I go, yeah, me. And I've set up, in conjunction with two other ladies, Jenny Sullivan, who is a breast cancer survivor, and Becky Gilchrist, who's up in Scotland. And we came together and just thought, actually, let's create a little group. So our little group is called the Bravo Tribe, and it's just a Facebook group. And people were joining and they were like, this is brilliant. Where can we send bras to? So it's like, yep, send them to me. So I'm also an official partner of Against Breast Cancer. So if anybody was searching of where to send their bras locally, then I'm an official drop-off point. And it's quite funny because what I tend to say is, if I'm not in, just pop them behind the gnome on the doorstep. It's very trustworthy. And people remember that I've got a gnome. I don't think it's even a gnome, to be honest. But they remember the gnome, but they can't remember the number of the house, So they go along the road looking for this gnome.
Does the gnome have a bra on his head for it as a hat?
He has a hat, and he has been known to wear a bra. Just like my front hedge has been known to have bunting along it of bras, red, white, and blue, or red and white, depending on what the occasion is.
Well, absolutely. That the multi-use. And are there any bras they won't take? Will they take, my padded bras, for instance? Will they take?
They will. They will take padded bras. They will take wired, underwired, wired, non-wired. They will take more sexy bras, shall we say? They'll take the nursing bras. They'll take bras where you can put prosthetics in. So absolutely any bra, training bras, little crop tops. So because obviously people are all shapes and sizes.
So when are you going to do something with your 3,500 bras that are in your garage?
This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. So at the end of October, I am going to be sending them all off. The recycling company will come and collect them, and then I will start all over again. And
That's fantastic. So you've got this now great big mountain of bras.
Yes, I have. And we actually emptied them all out for a photo shoot. There was about 2,500 then, and we emptied them out on my front drive.
Who's counted them? Who's counted them?
I count them, and Jenny gets donations in as well, so she counts them. But my mum is the biggest bra counter. Every time she comes, she goes, "Have I got some more bras to count then?" I'll go, "Yeah."
Is
And then I sneak
there a
sneak some
record that
in.
we can break? Is there
Must
a
be.
record of the
Oh, I
the most
don't
bras that
know.
somebody's owned?
I don't know. Somebody once did donate about 50 at once, and they were
Wow.
all hers.
Wow. Wow. I
Wow.
think
Yeah.
we should try and find out if there's a record for the
Oh, that would be
the
There
most
must
held
be some
bras. 'Cause
kind
you
of
have
bra
to beat
record.
that.
It must have a Guinness World of Records bra thing.
There must
Surely.
be, mustn't
There must
there?
be, mustn't there?
If there
Let's make
isn't,
one.
There needs to be.
we'll set it. We'll set it. We'll set it here and now. We'll set. So you'll have to count them all at the end. So, what's the best thing for people to do if they want to send their bras? Is it send it to you or them or?
They can send them to them directly, or if they're part of our Facebook group, then they can just put in their post, let us know their postcode or the town that they live in. We will then look up where is their nearest drop-off point. If there isn't one close by, they can either post them to me or they can post them to Against Breast Cancer directly.
Oh, right, great. Well, I'll put all those details on the blog so that everyone knows where to go, and we'll probably send you some more bras and get you to beat the record,
That would
whatever that record is, or set. Or I'd like to see somebody beat the record.
that would be wonderful, and it's quite good sorting through them actually, because we just see there's all shapes and sizes of them, and it's just quite fun to do. It's like, oh, that's a really nice one.
Yeah. Do you ever sort of look at them and think, well, what's wrong with that? Why are they getting rid of that one?
I do, yeah. And you think, actually, we've got quite a lot of new ones as well.
Wow.
But so many women in the UK are wearing the wrong size bra.
Yeah, yeah.
And the average bra size now has increased. And I think it's increased like 2 cup sizes.
Has it? Not in this house, it hasn't.
Yeah, I've got yours.
Oh, cheers, thanks for that. That's called being greedy.
Sorry about that. To be fair, I'd happily give them to you.
My best friend, she when we lived together years and years and years ago, and she had her great big bra on the wash. When we did the washing, there would be her great big bra, and there would be my little tiny bra, and it was like it was like a big proper bra and a little doll's bra. It just looked ridiculous. It just looked mad. One of my top rants is about all those big padded bras. What are they doing padding double D's and E's? What's all that about?
Yeah.
Seriously.
To be fair, after a while, you kind of need that padding because you almost need a hoist. So the padding is there for a reason at that point. Because even like you talking about your friend, that was exactly my experience of my friend. So sort of, I had, largers and she had small ones, and she'd still be like, oh God, I really want boobs and everything else. I said, yeah, but yours won't sag, will they? So now, now the tables have turned, you see. I'm like,
But you need to put the bra on and lift them up. There's nothing to lift up here with me.
Yeah, but they also, then you have to lift them down when you take the bra off. It's like, look at my perfect, and where did they go?
The other thing she finds difficult is that if we go to a spa day or anything, and we go like for a massage, I just get on the table and just lie down.
Oh yeah,
she has to really adjust herself.
What's that? That doesn't happen in my house.
Yeah.
It's almost like if people of a certain age will remember Les Dawson. That's my life now.
Yeah. Only people of a certain age will know that Les Dawson joke, but it's definitely I couldn't do that. I would not be able to do that at all.
Hoist your pretend boobs in, which are not pretend when you are a woman of a certain age and a certain cup size.
Well, it's like Miranda Hart, isn't it? It says when she turns over in bed, it's like
the slap, slap, that is so funny, isn't it? The slap.
It's true. It is true.
But it is so funny. It's like for me, it's like it's an eye opener for me because I don't get all this. So it's
because it's not
funny.
your life. Yeah, I used to do like a burpee challenge, and literally I used to like jump up and do a clap, but I'd jump up, my boobs would clap, and my hands would clap.
See, that's my party trick.
You see, all these things that you never knew your boobs could do.
No, my mum
or wanted them to.
Yeah, my mum, it ties in with this actually. She had a mastectomy on her 40th birthday.
Oh gosh.
And she became a specialist breast care sister and counsellor, right, sort of 5 years after her mastectomy. So back in 1981. And that was right at the beginning of the national mammogram screening now. So she was one of very few. And of course, there are lots of nurses doing that, but she used to fit people with bras and, you know, and talk to people about and counsel and all the rest of it. But I used to think, I'm going to borrow these. I'm just going to borrow the fillets, the chicken fillets that you could have. Yeah, she thought she'd lost one in a freezer once. She went to the butcher's and she went, I haven't. She went and she got home and, like, you know, the false boob wasn't in her bra. And she's like, well, where's that gone? Where's that gone? And eventually she found out she hadn't put it in. She just didn't realise. But yeah.
But even when you describe it as a mammogram or what else did you describe it as? Yeah, but you said some sort of a breast screening or screaming.
Oh,
exactly
screaming,
what
yeah.
a mammogram is
yeah.
like, especially for people with big boobs. It is a breast screening service.
When I went for the mammogram, I asked my mum and I said, is it going to hurt? Because I'm just little, it's just going to make it go completely flat. And then it's just going to be like a really nasty pinch. And she said, to be honest, it hurts all sizes. Thank you, Mum. Honest, that's decent. That, you know, at least you know, but it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I think I would have more difficulty getting it onto the thing.
I think actually it's easier. It's not, it gets less painful the older you are because your boobs are just flatter. Do you know what I mean? Your breast tissue's not so dense when you're older. Now they just sort of, you know, before they sort of like try and squeeze them, and now I'm just like, you know, just like a pancake in the middle of them now.
Well, some of us have pancakes to start off with, so you know. Well, I always said, you know, should I have a boob job? Should I have a boob job? And I'm like, well, if anybody's going to explode, it would be mine. You know, they would explode. So.
And years ago, that was something that used to happen, is it? No, I mean,
wasn't it? I mean, you do get the leaks, don't you?
Yeah.
Particularly when people go abroad and they get the cheaper versions, don't they? And all poisonous stuff leaks. So that would happen to me. That would.
So to give you something to complain about.
Well, yeah. As is my one.
Exactly.
So tell me, Kerry, as we were talking undies, now we move from bras to knickers. So, you know, I have the opposite with the knickers. With the bras, I need help to push out, and with knickers, I need help to push in. So I have my big girl bra, my big girl knickers, big girl bra to push out, big girl knickers to push in. So tell me some of your knicker stories.
Janine and I, we have a passion of decluttering, and my knicker story was started with a very personal story. And also when you were talking about your mother, my mother died of cancer, and during that year, I decided that I wanted to change my life in lots of different ways, of course, because, you know, your life changes dramatically when you lose your parent. And I spoke to the coach that I was working with and about how I wanted to feel about my body. And I wanted to be sexy, lean and strong. And I was 45 at the time, 2 babies down, and which I'd had as my youngest was 5 at the time, so I'd had when I was 40. So I went upstairs and thought, right, I need to, you know, check myself out in the mirror. And I went down to my underwear and I stood there in a bra that 2 out of 3 clasps was broken, and it was old from giving birth to my youngest son, who was 5 at the time, and a pair of knickers that were my mum's, because my mum was, through her cancer and everything else, her skin was itchy, so she'd give me things, and of course she'd give me knickers that she'd bought and were itchy, and you just, you know, my mum was dying, I was anything, I'm like, yes mum, take it, you know, and they end up in my knicker drawer and they end up on my arse. So there I was, wanting to be sexy, lean and strong in this, and this is what I had in front of me, and I just thought, well, what were you oh God, like, I've got work to do. But it was the most vulnerable place to start, you know, but it was also the you know, to start where you're at. So I thought, well, I'll do what I do with anybody else. I'll go into my knicker drawer, and I took my knicker drawer out, I threw everything on the bed, and there lay in front of me my whole life of all the things of what I talk about with anybody else. It's just like, question first was like, what knickers in there that made me feel how I wanted to feel? And out of all of the knickers, there were 3 pairs left.
How many did you have in the drawer?
I'd say I probably had about 50 pairs in the drawer. The thing about the knickers is that your knicker drawer tells the story of your life. And it wasn't just me, as I found out after, because I'd look in there and there was a pair of knickers in there that a friend had given me that were 25 quid just for the knickers, and they were 15 years old. And when she bought them, she says, "You're going to have to go buy the bra." And we were just talking earlier on about people wearing the wrong size bra. These were, a 36B bra, which was flimsy and beautiful for my beautiful body that was pre-baby, but I was never going to wear it. But it was there to remind me of a life gone by. There were knickers in there that, like you were talking about, like suck you in knickers to make you into somebody else. There's knickers in there that you keep that are period knickers. There's knickers in there that, a good day, or your big girl knickers, or the knickers that you put on to go for an interview knickers. There's knickers that you go on your sexy night out knickers that cut you in half. There's the knickers in there that you aspire to be. So as a coach, like, my job generally is to help people let go of all the past, of all the stuff that you keep in there. And also to sort of keep you not to sort of future cast yourself, of like keep beating yourself up about the pair of knickers that they've still got the labels on, that you'll fit into at some point, or you'll finally get to go on the weekend that you want to go on, that you and your partner can enjoy each other with. There was so many stories in there. And when I came down and I spoke to my partner at the time, and he said, "That's a book," which of course I just laughed. I was like, "So ridiculous. Like, what do you mean a book?" And he said, that, and I thought, oh, so it just stuck with me. And then I would talk to people about it. I've got this idea and everything else. And every time I spoke to any woman about, tell me about your knicker drawer, what's in your knicker drawer, and has it got, these things in it? And you could see their face would change, and they would go off their knicker drawer and come back and go, "Oh my God, you've been in my knicker drawer." Yeah. Is there anything in there that doesn't make you feel how you want to feel for yourself, not for other people to make you feel gorgeous? A really internal, like, I like me and therefore you will like me, not the other way around. So that's how it started.
Yeah, so is that now where you start when you go into people's houses and sort of declutter or and coach them? Do you absolutely start with their knicker drawer now?
I'm not a declutter as in Janine is. I declutter people's heads, so mine is very much a mind-based conversation. I do have a declutter program, but generally I do talks on declutter your knicker drawer, because the thing for me is that it's, as Janine will say, it's a process of what you notice. Clutter is a manifestation of what's going on in your head, but the knicker drawer part of it allows you to have intimate conversations with people straight off the bat. So it's like, I'm going to talk to you about your underwear. We're talking about real stuff that means stuff to you, and it will bring up all raw emotions about how you feel about yourself. And I want to have those conversations. I like uncomfortable conversations because they evoke a significant amount of change. So when I talk to people about their lives, it can involve the knicker drawer. It depends what they've come to me for. But always they end up looking at their knicker drawer because they end up reading the book, and then they want a copy of the book and stuff like that. But what I love is that people go away and it starts off a chain reaction, because when you go into your knicker drawer and it's the first part and you take out all of the compromise of your life and you think, right, I love what I've got on, and then you start to put on a pair of clothes or something, you think, oh, actually, I don't feel the same way about that. And then you see that you start with your clothes, and then you start to look at your environment, what you're surrounding yourself with, who you're allowing into your life, relationships, intimate relationships, or what I love is that it starts off this juggernaut of change. And for me, there isn't anything better than that. I kind of like, let's do the whole thing. And that starts the conversation for me. So that's why I love the power of it, really.
It's very empowering.
Yeah, empowering cuts to the chase, isn't it? It's like,
totally.
There we go, that's your life. And tell me, both of you, some of the funniest stories that you've got, or the strangest that you've come across.
When I first started doing it, I asked people like Janine to send me some bras. So like my cousin, who I don't really see, who's like, we're cousins, we're connected, of course, and there's me post on Facebook, can anybody send me their old knickers that they're not wearing anymore? And it's just like, you've done some weird shit in the past, Kerry, but this is like, really, you want my old knickers? You really want my old knickers? And it's like, yeah, I do want your old knickers, and different people would say, and it's fascinating to see what people do send. But I tell you what, the weirdest thing for me now is that the people who know who I am, and obviously, like, I've got pink hair and I talk about knickers. So if people sit next to me and they've heard of me, or we're in, any kind of networking thing or anything like that, and people want to sit next to me and then they want to tell me what knickers they've got on. You know what I mean? And it's the most surreal conversation, because you kind of like, and one woman sat next to me, she went, "Oh, it's you," and I was like, "Yeah, hi," kind of like, being nice, friendly.
You're the knicker lady.
Yeah, totally. She went, "If I'd have known I was going to sit next to you, I'd have worn different knickers." It's just like, well, I'm not that bothered by what knickers you wear in a conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not judging you. I'm not here to judge your knickers. If you want to tell me, she went, "Oh, I've still got my children's, knickers. The belly warmers on it," and people just want to. It's like they just want to let it out. Then, like, actually, it's fine. You don't have to tell me, and But people are always like just sending me back. Kerry, I did this. I had 4 drawers of knickers, and and then they send me pictures of their bags. I'm sure, Jenny, you get the same. Of people want to share of their letting go, of their releasing of, oh God, what. Or they want to tell you the oldest pair of knickers that they've had, in their, for however long they've had them. 15 years is the longest so far.
15.
15 years.
Everybody does have a story around everything. And when I'm supposing somebody to go through, say, the wardrobe, and it's like, "Oh, I had this dress and I wore it to this, I wore it to that." And I was like, "How does it make you feel now?" "Well, I can hardly get in it." And the body language goes, and it's like, I said, "Well, remember those times when you felt amazing in it, thank them for that, and then let somebody else feel amazing in it." Because at the moment, all it's doing is taunting you, because it's saying, "You used to fit in me, you used to feel confident, you used to feel amazing, but you're not now." So by sharing the journey and by going through them with them, you can support them to move forward on to the next part of their life with confidence, with empowerment, with the support around them. I went to the high school open evening the other night with my youngest, because she's due to start in next September, and a lady came up to me, tapped me on my arm, and she just went, "Are you the bra lady? Are you the lady who collects the bras?" I just turned around and I was laughing. I was like, "I am, yes." When people say to me, like, "Well, why? What do you do with them?" But then once I explain, it's not just a bra. It's all these other things. It's being and supporting, literally and metaphorically, other people. And when we get the big bags of bras sent, and I also have a collection point in one of the big department stores at the Trafford Centre. So I go and get the bag, and I'm a bit like Father Chris, I have it over my shoulder, and walking down with this huge bag of bras, and then tip them out. And I was going through them and counting them, and my girls helped me count them as well. And we're going through them, and they're picking them up, going like, "Look at the size of this one." And then they picked another one up, going, "Mummy, what's this?" And of course, it was one that had slits down so you could peek through it. That's an interesting conversation with them.
Yeah, how did that go? How did that go, Janine? What did you say?
Like, well, and it's like, that's for different occasions, and it was just, oh my goodness, they just laughed.
That reminds me, another funny thing was, for the book cover, I had this sort of a selection of different knickers. So I've got a friend who's a publisher, and she was going to help me. She had some really strong ideas of what wanted on the book, and then the publisher had their graphic designer, and so we were, both of us, I mean, like, she's the same age as me, and he's in his early 20s, and so of course then we're having conversations
Good start.
exactly, about knickers.
Yeah.
Right. And so then he's having conversations with his girlfriend about knickers, because obviously then he's got to then draw said knickers. And so when he first got like these 6 pairs of knickers on this sort of the front of the book, sort of like all different shapes of knickers and everything else and different colours and stuff like that. But they were all these tiny little like Brazilian-y kind of things. You know, and this, that, and the other. And so then I had to sit with him one day, trying to sort of go, okay, I'm going to have to help you draw these knickers. So like, you know, I'm sort of Googling, you know, Bridget Jones sort of thing, you know, different things. And then he's going, right, okay, what about this one? And I'm going, no, bigger. No, increase that size. No, increase that size. Now that's got to be round at the top, right? You know what I mean? So you can sort of, so there were some like, you know, normal inverted commas size knickers. I said, what pieces about knicker drawer but that have a whole selection of them? I said, it's not the sexy knicker drawer book, you know, it's like the life lessons with your knicker drawer, like life, not how to get more sexy with your knickers. But yeah, it was the funniest conversation of just trying to explain to a 20-year-old man that his sexy girlfriend's knickers probably won't last for all of his lifetime.
Yeah, they might appear in
their knicker drawer
in 10 years' time.
Yeah, totally. Funny.
Do you think he'll read the book?
Well, I don't know. It's funny, but people do say that. So does it have the same impact for men? And they said men don't have the same connection to their underwear. But then my hairdresser, my lovely gay hairdresser, said, gay men do, Kerry, gay men do. And I said, well, okay. Yes, it's not. Men have different kind of hoarding tendencies that are more of a connection, but it's it's definitely not the same, not the self-worth, self-value, all of that, you know, that sort of self-love and acceptance and stuff that knickers and underwear have to women. Absolutely not. No.
And how long have you both been doing this?
I've been doing it just over 2 years.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's actually not very long.
No. And I've got different.
And 3,500 bras in that time.
3,500 bras.
Doing well.
And it's funny because we have like a neighbourhood WhatsApp group, and I'll put out, has anybody got any big boxes for me? And they'll be like, oh, you needed some for some more bras? And I'm like, yep. So when people get like the food deliveries, they'll message me and they'll go, I've got another box for you. Like, brilliant, I'll be around to collect it. I'll take a photograph of the bunting.
Wouldn't they prefer it in bags rather than boxes?
No, because the recycling company, when they come, they fit in their van a lot better. If you think of Tetris and everything, to try and get them in. And if you're lifting the bags up, they may rip. They will accept them in bags. There's nothing against that. It's just they stack easier in my garage. And also it's a bit more sustainable as well.
Yeah.
With reusing the boxes and everything.
They're going to get a surprise when they come round to your garage and collect your bras, aren't they?
They are. In fact, they are going to have to do a special collection because they normally have a maximum collection of, I think it's 15 boxes. Yeah, we're way more.
How many are you at?
I must have 30.
15's my max, love.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Let's come back again.
Whatever. I've been coaching for 20 years, Helen.
Oh, right. Okay. And how long doing like your, I don't know how to put it, knicker orientated? What's the word I'm looking for? Knicker. I don't know.
I don't know. What that happened 7 years ago is when I experienced it, and then I talked to people a lot, and obviously and I did talks and stuff like that. But the book came out last August on International Underwear Day. So yeah, and then I've kind of done lots of radio shows, talk shows, podcasts, anything really. I tell you what, I love this is the conversation that it starts with people, like like with girlfriends, and so buy it for your girlfriend for Christmas. It's a funny little book, but it changes your life, and which I love to do. Use humor in change, and it's the best thing because it's like play therapy. You just
totally.
You have a conversation with somebody, and they're and they're telling you about their intimate feelings about things. And for me as a coach, when people tell you about how they are about one thing, you can take that habit and you can put it then where else does this happen in your life? And then you're on, you know what I mean? Then they can see, oh my God, I do that over there as well. And oh my God, of how much they keep hold of in their lives, and because they keep on hold of a version of themselves that makes them feel good about themselves. It's like, I liked it when I could fit in that bra. I felt sexy when I could fit that, be that person. And so, well, yeah, but you need to feel sexy and love who you are now, because this is your life. And if we don't work on that, then you're forever looking behind you going, my best is behind me, when and then nothing is available to you to enjoy what you've got.
I can totally resonate with that. Totally resonate with it in my life as well. And that's why I love as well helping and supporting others to move forward.
Yeah.
And with doing the bras, and like you say, you're sorting your knicker drawer out, it's actually encouraging people to do it, because they've now got a purpose to do it. And especially people who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, and then all of a sudden they can no longer wear their underwired bras, but because some of them have been so nice and so comfortable, or they love them for whatever reason, they want them to go to a good cause. It's hard enough going through breast cancer without having to actually throw your bras in the bin, because the actual physical throwing it in the bin,
it does feel like they're throwing part of their lives away. That does. And I think you're like, as a bra, like you say, if there's a purpose and a meaning to it, that helps them with that huge transformation that they're going through in their lives. Gosh.
And as well, it's the raising the money for against breast cancer for the research, but it's also giving other women a life. Because by wearing a bra in Africa, you're more likely, like I said before, to get a job, but you are also less likely to be attacked and less likely to be raped.
Like we were talking with previous to this call, and I'd just been on a jury service for a rape case, and the witness impact statement that was read at the end of it, I mean, thankfully we did convict this guy, which is a very rare thing. The conversation around the changing lives, the diversion of your life where it would have been, and then when something happens to you in regards to any sexual trauma as a woman, and to be witness to that, and then you and I had a conversation, and all it takes is you to just give away a bra, like an old bra that you're not even wearing, and just to throw it in a bag and throw it to somebody that you could help another woman, just to benefit from. That is just amazing.
Is there anywhere that people can send their knickers?
There are, but they're not secondhand knickers. There are things that you can buy. There's a company, I can't think of the name at that, because I was going to encourage that as part of the book, but they don't take secondhand knickers. So in terms of sustainability, generally people, I say to people, cut them up and use them as rags. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to ask Janine if there's got more sustainable things.
How can people reuse their knickers, Janine?
Recycle,
upcycle, reuse.
Yes. So you can use them as dusters, cut them up and use them as rags, as cleaning cloths. You could cut depends what they're made of, obviously. If you have the lace ones, you could cut them up and make it as a little pan scrub, But then you've got the charity shops, some do accept rag bags. So once they've been washed, then they can go in a rag bag and hand it over to the charity shop, and you just say to them, that's for rags. And what they do then is they weigh those bags in, so the charity is still getting money for them.
Yeah, that's what I generally say to people along those lines. It's like they can go in, because some of them just have, it doesn't matter what it's in there, it's just weighed by the kilo, isn't it? And they're just sent off somewhere. I don't know what they do with them, but
as well, if the children's knickers, like infant and primary school age or nursery age, and they're still in a great condition, then sometimes school will accept them so that they can use them as spares.
They're very welcome. I can remember when my little boys, we gave them over, they're so desperate for them because quite often parents don't give them back.
So
they're like, oh, we've got a great box of spare pants, or when they all wet themselves, but you don't get them back, they've gone. So that's really good to remember that the schools. Well, I think we could go on talking about knickers and bras and everything else for quite a long time, really.
Good. We've got stories, that's for sure.
Lots of them.
Of stories, I'm sure. But it's been great chatting to you. So what it leaves me to do really now is just say goodbye to you. And thank you very much. But also, where can people find you? So if you go first, Janine.
You can find me on Facebook as Clear the Clutter Now, and my website is www.cleartheclutternow.co.uk. I'm also hanging around on Instagram a little bit, but I'm mainly on Facebook.
The best way to find me is I'm Kerry Hales everywhere. So www.kerryhales.com, Kerry_Hales on Instagram, but everything is on the website. So it's just easy, just to, Kerry Hales, KRRYHALES.
Lovely. And I will put all that on the blog post as well, so everybody can find you both. But also, Janine, give us that Facebook group details again, please.
It's called the Bravu Tribe. So it's the Bravu, so BRAVOO Tribe.
Lovely. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I hope it's been fun, and I hope it's been interesting for people. Thank you for listening to me, the Complaining Cow Consumer Show on East London Radio. And you can find more help and advice about consumer rights and topical consumer issues on the www.thecomplainingcow, Twitter @ComplainingCow, Facebook The Complaining Cow, and Instagram Complaining Cow. And if you have any consumer topics you'd like me to cover, or a consumer issue you'd like help with, you can contact me on Helen @eastlondonradio.org.uk. And you can get 15% off How to Complain, the Essential Consumer Guide to Getting Refunds, Redress and Results, and 101 Habits of an Effective Complainer with code ELR15 on the Complaining Cow website. See you next time. Thanks very much. Bye.